What's happening, everybody? Today we're going to go through how to pack a truck for an overnight trip. And we've had several people that have sent emails and social media messages, YouTube comments that are new hunters that are looking to try to figure out how to do all this. And not that we're experts by any means, but we have a lot of experience doing this, especially last year. So this is actually the truck that I did everything in last year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got here, and then we're going to show how it all kind of fits into here. It's not packed to the brim, but having a camper is a nice thing to have on your truck when you do an overnighter. Keeps rain and snow or whatever off, as well as just keeps it safe when you run into Walmart real quick or something like that. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through how I would pack it first. We'll go kind of item by item. I'll try to make it quick so it doesn't get too boring, and I'll show you the details as much as I can of what we've got here. We're going to put up some links throughout this video that hopefully can help you with some of the more detailed aspects of this, like hanging a tree stand, what's in our camo bag, what we wear to the stand, and what we take in this backpack to the stand, like grunt call, paracord, you know, saw, whatever we might need there. So we'll do a bag dump, and we'll put the link up there for that as well. So if you're interested in that, click those links. Hopefully that'll help. That's what we're trying to do. We want to help people. So the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously you're going to need an ice chest because you're going to be successful. The ice chest is going to keep milk, lunch meat, all those kind of things as well. But when you are successful, then you just kind of throw the cheap lunch meat out and you put the good meat in there. We also right here have what I kind of call like my food container. So what I'll put in there is like that apple probably, and then I'll put, you know, different chips and just snacks of all different kinds, granola bars, that kind of thing, cereal, bread, all the things that are like dry, kind of non-perishables. Tuna is a good one that I usually use a lot, canned chicken, stuff like that. And you can put mayonnaise and stuff in that and make sandwiches. Just like high calorie stuff is usually what I'm looking for because I'm burning a lot of energy because I'm up, you know, for a long period of time during the day. So those are two things that kind of control like my food system, I guess you'd say. Water is a pretty essential thing for me a lot of times, depending on the hunt, you know, and depending on the situation. If I'm going to have a campsite or if I'm going to be in a hotel, it's not such a big deal. But this water is nice to have. These are kind of cheap water jugs right here. Having it to wash your hands after you cleaned a deer or something like that is also a really nice thing as well. So from there, we go down to these two bins right here. And so I'm trying to load everything in with the biggest stuff first, you know what I mean? So that way you can kind of stuff the little stuff on top. So I got a sleeping bag because who knows if you sleep, I slept in the truck a lot last year, and the sleeping bag, you know, you got to have a sleeping bag or a blanket or something. This is my tent. It's a Luxe Mini Peak, and it's a two-man tent, but really it fits one man really nicely and a little bit of gear. And then so like we'll go ahead and talk about this right here. This is my camping tote. So this goes with me on a fly fishing trip or deer hunting or whatever. So basically got a inflatable blow-up mattress right here, first aid kit. It's probably pretty important. I cut myself a few times on broadheads last year because I'm not used to using the fixed blades. And then I'll have like Mountain House in here, which I don't right now, but I'll usually have some of that. So KC and I, if we're on the run or whatever, then a lot of times for lunch, even if we could go somewhere to a restaurant, it's easier just to pull out, you know, our pocket rocket, this little water holder here that we can heat up with some butane. We can heat up some water, throw it in a Mountain House, and we've got a lunch. These are scent elimination wipes, but baby wipes, non-scented baby wipes are a good thing to have. I've got some paracord in here, a couple of like electric battery powered lantern, sleeping pad, that's a good thing to have. Fillet knife. I got an extra pump for the inflatable mattress and stuff like that. I got some game shears, which those should probably go in here. Electrical tape, water purification, that kind of thing. So basics of, you know, what you might need if you're camping essentially. And so I'll throw all this stuff kind of back in here. This other tote, oh, by the way, a ratchet strap or two is a good thing to have for several reasons. You can use it on the game cart for your deer, or you can use it if you don't have a topper or something like that to keep boxes from blowing off, which we've lost several $100s of camo before on a trip from box lids blowing off. This is my miscellaneous tote. KC gave me that idea. I don't know what I called it before that, but that's what it is. It's got all kinds of miscellaneous stuff in it. So I usually throw my rattling horns in here because there's just not a good way to put rattling horns into into a box or on a pack or whatever. So I got some Blaze, like extra Blaze stuff in here, hand warmer, toilet paper. I got another pump. If you haven't picked up on it yet, I don't like sleeping on the ground. My back is not good for that. Toboggan, random stuff. These are like just some extra rope. I got my extra release in here because you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere without a release if yours breaks or gets sand in it or whatever. Extra grunt tube, trail camera, scent free stuff, some extra bungees, paracord. I got a saw. I got a bunch of like scent wicks in here, like, you know, urine, deer urine type stuff, attractant type stuff, duct tape, flashlights. I got an old cheap spotting scope, which we should probably throw that away. It's pretty much worthless. Some extra fuel for cooking Mountain House and that kind of thing on. So yeah, kind of just a bunch of random stuff that I've picked up on over the years that I would need. And that stuff is, I mean, I always use stuff out of this bin, always. There's knives in there too. I don't know if I mentioned that. Extra knives, you know, because it's easy to lose a pocket knife in the woods and you're gonna need something to clean your deer with. So the big things will go in there first, and then we'll kind of go to the little things. This is something that rides in the floorboard, usually in the back. It's just a general toolbox, you know. It has pliers and hammers and screws and screwdrivers and stuff like that in it. So, and then you know, my camo bag here as well. This holds all my camouflage, everything that I hunt in, base layers, everything. And this is an ozone bag, so you know, it'll get rid of scent a little bit and stuff like that. And then I've got this is my like hunting pack that goes with me. That's got, you know, grunt tube and all that stuff in it. And then I usually put either sticks or camouflage and water and snacks and stuff in here to go out with me. If you're interested in what goes in this pack that goes to the tree stand with me, then click on the link up above and you can see the bag dump that we did. So anyway, from there we're gonna go talk about like footwear. I generally wear like, I like just like a lightweight hiker most of the time, but if I'm gonna go in anywhere that has a chance of being pretty wet or crossing a creek or something like that, these are pretty great. I mean, you can take just a general rubber boot from like a feed store or something like that, but these are really comfortable. Sometimes those cheap ones can really wear on your ankles and stuff like that and give you blisters. So anyway, I've got just systems, you know, climbing systems essentially and tree stand to get you into it. A lot of guys are using saddles now. This is just a step. I've got like 4 of these things. And so what I usually do is I'll bring two stick systems essentially, because if one of them breaks or if you need more than 4, which a lot of them come in packs of 4, then you have an extra one, or you can just leave one in the tree and hunt a different property or whatever, because a lot of times we have small permission properties and parcels that we are usually hunting, so it's nice to leave something up in the tree every once in a while. And that's why I'll bring a couple of stands normally as well. I got my bow and a game cart there because you know, we can't always drive a truck to where we're going. So what I'll do is I'll kind of show you how all this packs in. You probably can figure it out. It's just like a big game of Tetris. You just put stuff in there until it fits. That's the basics of how I pack for a overnighter trip. You know, it depends. I'll lose some stuff for certain trips and I'll maybe bring a little extra something for other trips. It just kind of depends. But this is, generally I can cover everything I've got. If I'm in a crunch and I've got to leave pretty soon for a trip, and I didn't have time, I had a lot of work that week or something like that, I just throw all this in there and it usually covers me. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, comment below, and remember to subscribe. And also remember, this is your element. Live in it.
I don't need a good line to give you a good time. Just bring it on when I grab your hand. Dance with me, baby. You're gonna save me from another Friday night.